if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it right. I'm not going to half-ass it. I am not going to only commit 20%. I'm going to go all out. So I've got the equipment, I've got the microphone, I've got a nice setting. Let's do it. Let's do this. Welcome back, first of all, to my YouTube channel, to my Spotify, to my podcast, wherever you are listening or watching. Hello. My name is Emily Olivia, if you don't already know that. My full name is Emily Olivia Harper Hemming. Emily Olivia actually derived from my competing days because I am, of course, a ex-bikini athlete, ex-natural athlete. I'm still natural, actually. Ex-bikini, natural bikini athlete. And that is who I was for years. Absolutely 100% me, my identity for years. And the reason that I am back doing my podcast, the reason that I am really moving forward with this venture of putting myself out there and doing the YouTube videos, podcast videos, whatever you want to call them, is because I've been going through an identity crisis because I am no longer Emily Olivia, natural bikini athlete. I'm a whole new person, and it took me a really long time to find that person. I'm still finding that person. I'm still not 100% on myself. But this video today, this first one, this comeback to empowerment, the podcast, the YouTube series, my channel, this is about reintroducing me and talking to you about going through that identity crisis and going through stepping back from solely being a bikini athlete for 7 years, because that's what my life was. I started competing back in 2018. I was 21 at the time, and I just wanted to do it for fun. The first few years that I competed, I just wanted to do it for fun. But as time progressed and as my experience progressed and as I got better at it and I invested more of my life into it, it of course took over. And I wouldn't have wanted it to go any other way. I loved it. Like, this video is in no way at all, or this podcast, I never know what to call it, is in no way at all me saying that I hate bodybuilding or me saying that I regret spending 7 years of my life as a bodybuilder, because I don't. I loved it. It was the best thing, honestly, hand on heart, the best thing I ever did for myself. It challenged me mentally, it challenged me physically, it grew me, it taught me resilience. It made me see that you can do anything you put your mind to, genuinely can. You can achieve anything you want in your life, so long as you work hard, you get a plan of action and disciplined, consistent, you will achieve it. But as I got more and more into it, and the hobby soon became my lifestyle, soon became my life, soon became my identity, I lost a lot of myself in it. It was literally a case of competitions with a goal, always the goal, whether I was prepping or going into my off season to be able to start prep again. So I was always looking at that goalpost of a show or prep starting, prep finishing a show, prep starting, prep finishing, etc. And within that, that's where I truly, truly lost myself, because all the time it was everything I was doing was with competing in mind. Everything, you know, if I was training, it could only be in a way to develop my muscle. If I was, you know, going away somewhere, it could only work within my off season. Like, heaven forbid I ever went away when I was on prep. I wouldn't go away. And essentially my life was just molded around this for such a prolonged period of time that I actually lost who I was. When your entire life revolves around one thing, everything is dictated by that one thing, you lose so much of yourself. And like, I look back and I think I was competing for 7 years. I probably spent 3.5 years of my life in a strict diet. 3.5 years of my life not traveling, not going to social events, not doing things because I was on prep. And as I said, I wouldn't have had it any other way at the time because I loved it and I knew what my goal was and I knew what I wanted to achieve. And I was like, yeah, I'm down for that. But when you step back from something that's been your life for 7 years, now that's the challenge. Because when I stepped back, I had an awful last season up on stage. I moved to Dubai. This is how much it took over my life and how much my identity was around being a bikini athlete. I moved to Dubai purely to be a better athlete. My mindset genuinely was, I'll move to Dubai so I can focus on my business, of course, my coaching business, which again was very focused around natural bikini athletes, natural athletes, which have since taken a step back from coaching solely natural athletes. Now I want to coach people for developing their mindsets, working with their mental and physical health, because I think it's so important. Hence, why I'm talking about these things, because mentality, mindset, mental health. Anyway, taking it back, I moved to Dubai with a mindset of I will go out there to concentrate on being a good athlete. Genuinely, I can go out there and I can concentrate on, being on it with my food in my off season and in my prep. Amazing, no distractions. And I know Dubai is very much a place there's so much to do. There are a lot of distractions, but in the sporting world, the gyms are absolutely phenomenal out there. So it's easy to move and just have sole focus on the gyms. I was on my own, so I was like, right, I'll be able to lock into my diet better without distractions in my off season, which is when I would normally live and enjoy my life. I was like, I can train, I've got amazing gyms there, I can stick to my routine and, prep, easy. And it's nice, the weather's nice, it's lovely to prep. So when I went over to Dubai, it wasn't long until I was in prep. I prepped, I absolutely smashed that prep to the point where I came in way too lean for both of my shows. And I knew it weeks before, I would say even a month before. I remember saying to my friend Mel, I was like, I think I'm going to come in too lean. Lo and behold, I did. And being too lean and being a natural athlete as well, inevitable, what was going to happen? I was going to look flat on stage. I looked flat on stage. I definitely lost muscle within that prep, 100%. I developed quite a few health issues as well. We all know prep isn't healthy and competing long-term isn't healthy. So yeah, I had those to deal with when I came out of that prep. And I was just isolated and lonely, and it didn't take me long to move back to the UK. And I moved back to the UK. I finished my season in the November. I moved back to the UK literally, I think 2 weeks after my last show. I moved back to the UK. And then I was just in this place where I was like, I enjoyed Christmas. I spent all the time with my friends. It was amazing. But then I was like, well, now what? What do you do now when there isn't another show to do? When there isn't another off season to start? Because can you even compete in the pro league as a natural? That was my thought process at the time. And I don't want to take gear. Like, I don't want to be taking stuff like that's, each to their own, but it's not for me. So I was like, I don't know what to do. And I decided at that point, right, this is where I need to actually think about what I want in my life. Not what I want from competing, not being, Emily Olivia, natural bikini athlete, but who's Emily Olivia Harper Hemming? Who is Emily Harper Hemming, who existed way before Emily Olivia did? Well, where is she now? Like, that's literally what I thought. Where is she now? I remember thinking, I want to be in a place where, I'm not going to compete. I'm just going to find myself. I want to find a body that I'm comfortable in. I want to find a physique I actually like. I want to not feel uncomfortable in my off season and like I'm fat when I was in no way fat, but I was just uncomfortable there. But I don't want to be absolutely shredded and lean and getting up on stage and think I'm only good enough if I'm shredded. Where's the middle ground? What do I look like as a normal person in normal day-to-day life? And that was literally a goal. That was one of the goals I had. And that's what I did for myself. I created goals that gave me purpose and helped me find myself again and find my identity again. And this included, let me think, finding my body, first of all, where I felt most comfortable, trying new training styles, because I was bored of lifting to just gain muscle and maintain muscle. I wanted to be fit. I wanted to be healthy. I wanted to find a way that I could maintain the body that I loved, which didn't require hours on the Stairmaster or constantly watching what I ate. I wanted to have freedom and flexibility in my diet, and I wanted to develop a good relationship with food. That was one of the goals, and that was a huge goal. So I had good relationship with food, important. New training, I wanted to try new training, find training that I enjoy and that I love and that wasn't bodybuilding focused. Finding a body that I liked. I wanted to travel more. I wanted to go around the world, see more of the world. I wanted to use this year that I knew I was going to find myself to travel more. I booked Bali. I booked to go to Bali for 3 weeks. Never happened. We'll come to that. I wanted to find a relationship. I knew I wanted a partner. I want to be in a long-term relationship with somebody. I want to be happy. So that was the goal. And I think I wanted to just feel comfortable in myself, comfortable, confident, wanted to potentially move back into my own house because my house was rented out. I moved back in with my mum when I moved back from Dubai. I wanted more security in my business. I wanted more structure in my business. I wanted to be happy in the way that I coached as well. And I wanted to move away from coaching athletes only. I wanted to branch out. So these are all things that I put, focus on to help me find my identity again. And for the most part, I think I achieved all those things. I did all of them. And every single one of them helped me find myself, because realistically, the goal wasn't what was important. The goal of all those things wasn't what was important for me. The goal only gave me something to help me find myself in the journey. So it was the journey to the goal that really helped me find myself. So whilst I was traveling more, I was finding places that I like to go, things I like to see, food I like to eat, places that just filled me with excitement and a lust for life. And I loved that. And that helped me feel comfortable in myself. It helped me find, this is so weird when I say it, but it makes sense. It helped me find my own style out of the gym, because I always wore gym clothes. But when I was traveling, I was like, I want nice outfits for traveling. So what would I like to wear? What outfit shall I put on? What bag shall I get? This is one of the things I found out about myself. I really am into designer bags. I've always had a bit of a bougie side, but designer bags. So I loved that. I loved that I could go on holiday. I could visit these different places. I could create really nice outfits that showcased me and my personality and reflected me. And I felt confident in myself, and it built me so much confidence. My goal was to try different training styles, and I wanted enjoyment out of that. It also bonded my relationship with my best friend even more, because most of the things that I tried, we did together. From boxing and running, and then I did my first hybrid event this year. And I loved all of that. And that really helped me find what I really enjoyed. And I never, ever thought I would be a runner. Never. And that was Nia got me into that. My best friend got me into that, because she was like, I want to start running again. I'm going to do the couch to 5K. So we'd go to the gym in the morning. I would start, doing a bit of running with her. And before you knew it, 10Ks, half marathon done, running every other day, just loved it. Bodybuilder Emily Olivia would never dream of running, never. So I found that out about myself, that actually Emily Olivia Hab Hemming, me, myself, I loved doing that. But because I was just a bodybuilder and my identity was just that, I never would have explored that to know until I stepped back. And again, the goal there to find, things that I enjoy. Well, I found the things I enjoy, and now I continue with that. And I have a great, friendship with my best mate. I mean, we always have done, but we get to do things together. That's great. Because we tried that together, we get to do these things together. We get to go to 10K races together. I love that. We do the hybrid events together. I love that. I never ever went to a show and she got up on stage with me. She just watched me from the audience. And while she always supported me and she would always be there, it didn't strengthen our, bond in our relationship. If anything, the last few weeks of prep, she was always like, I'm going to stay away from you for a bit because you're a bit moody. And yeah, I don't want to be around you. And I'm like, fair, I get that. Strict dieting will do that to a person. But yeah, so And I got that from running and discovering different training styles and finding what I liked. I wanted a relationship. I knew I wanted to settle down. And anybody who's probably followed me on Instagram has seen I've had a string of relationships over the years. And I would say the reason for that is because I never settle. I would never settle for anything less than what I wanted. And literally, that's what had happened over these years. Like, I dated different people, I'd met different people, I'd been in, relationships with different people. I'd been in long-term relationships, short-term. I dated, I'd literally been out with people once and been like, no, not for me. And I'd had my heart broken. I'd been in abusive relationships, unfortunately, a fair few of physically and emotionally abusive relationships. And every time they didn't work out, I would always leave. I'd be quick to leave. It got faster and faster as the years went on of me leaving, because I just wouldn't, as soon as I saw something I didn't like, I was like, no, I don't want to be with somebody that treats me like that. See you later. So whilst it looks like I've had a string of relationships over the last few years, yeah, I have, because I won't settle for anybody treating me less than I deserve. So every time one of those relationships is broken up, just reflect on the fact those people probably didn't treat me right, which is why I left. Either cheating, abusing, red flags, drugs, alcohol. And I knew when I stepped back from stage, this was the time for me to really focus on finding the person that I want to be in. But I had to be intentional about it. You always have to be intentional with everything that you do. Even when it comes to finding a relationship or friendships or whatnot, you have to put yourself out there in order to make things happen. And when I was like, right, I want to find a relationship, I want to settle down, I want to be with the right person, I wrote a list of everything I wanted in somebody and everything I didn't. I literally had my green flags and my red flags. And to be fair, I had the red flag one for quite a long time already. Like, red flags, do not be with anybody that's like this. But the green flags, I'd never really focused on that. Probably should have done that sooner, but did it at the right time. Everything happens for a reason. And I started dating, and I started being intentional with the fact that I was dating, because I had time now. I could go out for meals with people and not worry about, prepping or my body fat going up or anything like that, So I would go out on dates intentionally, trying to find the right person for me. And it literally took, I'm not even joking, like 2 days. 2 days. I went on a date with one person. Me and Nia made a thing. So at New Year's Eve, I sat under the table and ate grapes. There's that saying that if you sit under the table, you eat grapes, you'll find the love of your life or whatever that year. So I did. On New Year's Eve, I did that. Went on my first date in January. Nia said to me, she's like, right, you've got to go on a date every single month until you find somebody that you want to continuously date. And I was like, sound, okay. So got my first date in Jan, went out on that with a nice lad who was nice, and fortunately I say unfortunately, it wasn't unfortunate. I'm so glad it didn't work out, but it didn't work out. And it was fine. And then February came around and I went on a date with somebody new. You all know who this person is if you follow me on social media. Me and Josh went out for our first date in February, and that was that. We went on our first date. We saw each other again the next day. We had 3 days apart, went on another date. Inseparable, literally inseparable. We have been like this ever since. And that was a year and a half ago now, something like that. What are we in? We're in June. Is it June? Anyway, a year and a bit ago. And we just knew straight away. Me and Josh have actually been in each other's lives for like 10 years, passing ships. And we went on that first date and it was just meant to be. But I was intentional again. I knew what I wanted from somebody. I went in with direction, and I met somebody. I went on a date with somebody who knew exactly what he wanted too. And girls, all I'm saying is, if it's not a fuck yes, it's a fuck no in a relationship. If a man wants you and you're his dream girl, he will literally do everything to make sure he secures you. Like, he's certain of me, I'm certain of him. Like, there is no one else. But anyway, that was another goal that I had to help. I feel like, God, but my relationship is a goal. Weird way to put it, but it was something that I had for myself that I wanted, and I wanted to find a relationship, and I wanted to settle down, and that does play a part of your identity, of course. So I was intentional with that, and I made it happen. And as I said, in all these things that I was striving for, and these goals that I'd written for myself, and I was like, right, these are the things you're going to do this year to help you find yourself. I did find myself, and I found, somebody who is confident in herself, loves herself, values herself, but someone also who has a lot of challenges. I've got a lot of things, like, in that time where I was finding myself, and I'm still finding myself now and stepping back from stage, I found so many challenges, so many things that have been ingrained into me for years because of competing. And those are the hard parts to work through. All these good things that you find about yourself and you celebrate, and you're like, yeah, this is mint. I am loving this. And that's how I was and how I am. I'm so happy to be the person I am now. However, with the good comes the bad. So the bad stuff when it comes to navigating your identity after you've been a certain way for such a prolonged period of time is honestly down to stuff being ingrained in you. Like, behaviours from 7 years were ingrained into me, and letting go of these, whilst I was celebrating all the good things, letting go of the old me was so hard. So hard, because the old me is used to over-analysing every single meal I have all the time for carbs, fats, protein, calories. Old me has body dysmorphia and thinks that she only looks good if she's 49 kilos. That's crazy. Old me, worries about water retention from eating something that's too salty. Old me is obsessed with the scales. So these are all things that, the old version of me, the bodybuilder in me, the bikini athlete in me, that was so obsessed with, that integrating myself fully back into normality and living like normal people to a degree, that was really hard, because when you're finding yourself and when you are trying to establish who you are and you're trying to explore these new avenues of you, it isn't just a case of you doing the inner work on yourself. It's also then doing that work and integrating yourself back into a normal society. And for me, this meant unfollowing so many different people on social media. So I wasn't just consuming bikini athlete content, because my Instagram, majority of my followers are from me competing. Majority of the people that I follow are from competing. So that was no good for me whilst I was, trying to find myself and reinvent myself and find my identity. I couldn't look at the same thing over and over again that I was trying to get out of. Behaviours in day-to-day life, going out for friends with my meals, meals with my friends and Josh, and going out and not sitting there and thinking, is the scale weight going to be up tomorrow? Is that going to be bad water retention? How much carbs? And getting stressed about it and anxious, and then, putting that on them. I had to learn to accept it's all right. You can eat these things and it's fine if the scale weight goes up. And then obviously living with Josh, not getting up and going on the scales in the morning and having a hissy fit because I'm up 0.2 kilo, which I would have done as a bikini athlete. I don't care about what the scales say now. Don't get me wrong. They're always going to, especially because I'm into my fitness and health and whatnot, I'm always going to use them to help navigate my own progress. But I don't care about them like I used to as a bikini athlete. Like, oh my God, I used to be so obsessed all the time with them. So you're not only learning how to feel secure in yourself, in your body, in your mind, in day-to-day life, but you're also learning how to be okay out in society, around new people, and you're trying to find new environments. That's another thing. Like, God, there's so many aspects to this. Like, when you're trying to find your identity again, you also have to put yourself out there. And that's what I found I really struggled with, to be honest, was finding more people who weren't just about bodybuilding. Because again, 7 years, all of my Instagram followers who I follow, who follows me, a lot of my friends, all still very relevant to the bikini competing industry. And not something that I really wanted to be a part of anymore, because I wanted to be me. I wanted me to do things that made people feel good. Like, I wanted to go out with people that, you know, didn't just eat out of Tupperware all the time. That's another thing that is so hard when you're trying to navigate finding yourself again, is starting to put yourself into new environments with new people who fit the new version of you more. And I guess that's where like the running comes into play, like going to run through events, like love them, and meeting people who are into running more, run clubs as well, high rocks classes, like again, getting into a different environment of people who share that sort of passion with me. And then not even just the fitnessy thing, you know, trying to meet people who want to do things away from fitness, people that want to travel, spending time on the weekends with, you know, friends that didn't want to just go to bodybuilding shows and bodybuilding events, girls that wanted to go out for food and then, you know, go and do some social things. And it's crazy when I look back at my old identity, because she was just all bodybuilding, all competing, and nothing else. And it's no wonder when I stepped back, I lost myself so badly, so badly. The thing is, you have to find places and people that align with you. And as you're becoming somebody new, you're going to have different environments that you're going to feel more comfortable in. You have to trust in your gut so much and trust in what you feel good in. And this is where that alignment is. If you're somewhere and you feel uncomfortable there, you don't feel yourself there, you feel like you've got to pretend to be someone that you're not there, you're feeling anxious there, it's not the one for you. It's not where you belong. It's not what you're meant to be doing. And that goes for everything in life, not just environments, in your career, in your relationships, in hobbies that you're doing. If they don't feel good, if you feel a disconnect, if you feel anxious, there's a difference between anxiety because you're excited and anxiety because you really don't want to be there. Learn to recognize the difference between the two, because there is an anxiety that is telling you you're not meant to be somewhere and you're not destined for something anymore. And this is the thing, when you're trying to find yourself and you're trying to develop your identity and find where you feel good, listen to what doesn't feel good too. Because we spend too long in environments where we don't belong because they're familiar. And for me, again, bodybuilding was so familiar that I was comfortable there, but I wasn't comfortable because I was unhappy and I felt disconnected from myself. I felt anxious. I felt uncomfortable in other ways that weren't challenging, were just jarring. So it's recognizing when you're moving away from your old identity, you know, first of all, recognizing, are you in something because it's familiar and easy, but are you actually happy to be there? Or, you know, is it time to move forward? And that for me was the thing. It was familiar, but it was uncomfortable because I wasn't happy there. But the familiarity was easy. So moving into new environments is so important when you are trying to find yourself again, because you need to find if they're the environments for you. You need to meet new people, see if they're people that align with the new version of you and the part of you that you're trying to figure out. Do you feel good around them? Do you feel like you belong there? Amazing. That's the goal. If you feel like you belong, you feel like you settle, you feel like you fit, that's where you should be. And that's what I was striving for, is to find places I belonged and find places that I fit and find places that I was comfortable and felt I could thrive in. And now I have that. I have so many environments that I feel comfortable in. I never feel like a jar, like I don't know how else to put it, except this jarring feeling of this doesn't work, that doesn't feel right, I'm not happy to be here. And once you recognize that, you start to move away from the environments that make you feel that way and the people that make you feel that way and the, situations and hobbies and lifestyle that makes you feel that way. And instead you start to lean towards what makes you feel good. Trust in yourself. That's the main thing. Trust in yourself and trust in your decisions that you're making. Because even though it might be scary to move towards the unknown of a new identity or of something that's unfamiliar, you have to trust that you're doing the right thing. Because there's nothing worse than staying somewhere which is familiar but comfortable, but you're not happy. But, oh, it's all right because I know I'm doing that. Well, yeah, but you're not happy. So move forward. And that's exactly what I did. Your identity, my identity, is made up of so many aspects. There is so much to you as a person, from your hobbies, the way that you dress, the friendships you have, the relationships you have, where you live, the things that interest you, what you watch on the TV, what you listen to, the things you consume, like the way you eat. These are all part of your identity, all of them. So you shouldn't be putting your entire identity on one thing, because when that one thing is taken away, what's left? Who are you? That's what I was left with. You took competing away, and who was I? I had no idea. Absolutely no idea. But I found myself. I spent a year and a bit, longer, because I'm still finding myself now. But I spent the last year or so finding me, finding who I am, finding what makes me happy, finding my own security, and recognizing that who I am isn't just one thing. Who I am is based on so many things, and it's amazing. And I cannot wait to share more of who I am, because that is the purpose of this today, to tell you a bit about navigating my identity, tell you how I helped find myself again, tell you my struggles, but also share more of me and tell you that I'm going to be sharing more of me. I want to share more of who I am and every aspect of what I am and how I use that to help other people find themselves, to help empower women, to help women feel good. Like, one of the things I struggled with last year was having people around me that like to just love themselves and feel confident in themselves and do girly things and do photo shoots and go out for meals together. So what did I do? I literally created that with my own clients. I was like, right, girls group shoots and then meals out. The whole point of this first video, this kind of welcome back to my YouTube channel, that reintroduction to me and a recognition of me moving forward with my identity, is because I want to continue sharing in this way. I want to keep sharing with people these aspects of me, but more so I want to share with you the things that I've experienced, the things that I've been through, the things that have helped me grow as an individual to get to the point that I'm at now, where I am comfortable in myself. I am confident. Don't get me wrong, we all have our off days as well, but I feel secure in myself. I feel happy in my life, I live a life full of fulfillment and purpose. I do what I love every day. I have an incredible relationship with somebody who treats me like a princess. I have the best friends in the world who are nothing but supportive. And I honestly couldn't say I'm in any negative or toxic environments. This is the life that I wanted for so long. And I feel like I've manifested it for myself. And I feel like I have worked through so many challenges and so many mindset switches that have helped me get here now to be in a place where I try so hard to respect myself, love myself, and worship myself and what I need. And I want to share that with other people. I want to share ways that you can develop your mindset, ways that you can change your life, and give insights into things that I've done to help me, and insights to my psychology and all the things I learned when I was a counsellor and psychotherapist. Because I'm telling you now, all that stuff that I learned and I learned how to practice when I was a counsellor and psychotherapist is honestly what has brought me here today, along with all the trauma and experiences I've had, along with the 7 years competing. And along with all the trials and tribulations I've faced and overcome and wins I've had as well, it's made me who I am now. And I want to share more of that. I want to give more insight into me, share more of my personality, not just talk about competing. I feel like this has basically been all about me moving away from competing, because that's played a huge aspect, or played a huge role, in part into making me me. Like, I will never deny that competing and getting up on stage played that part in me, because it did. Like, a huge part of who I am is because of that. And I love that, absolutely love that. And I don't hate competing in any way. I don't hate bodybuilding, don't get me wrong. I think the industry is very toxic. But that doesn't mean I don't love competing. It doesn't mean that I don't want to get up on stage again one day. But I will never put my entire identity on something again. And instead, I want to share everything that I have learned, everything that I know, everything that I think can help other people. And yeah, just empower people. That's the whole point of this, empowerment. I called my podcast Empowerment because I want to empower people to develop their mindsets, to recognize you can do anything you put your mind to. You really can. So that's what we're going to do. And if you want to hear more, subscribe, comment what you want to hear about, like, follow, I don't know, listen, share it all on here. I'll share it all on here, and you just listen along. And if you like it, you like it, and if you don't, you don't. But either way, I'm going to be sharing, and I'm going to try and do a podcast every week or a video every week, and I'm going to be sharing everything that I think is useful. And some videos might be great, some might be awful. We will see. But thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening. Bye bye.